Well, hello there. My name is Sometimes Heather and I play Elder Scrolls Online. Last time, I showed you what happens when you enter Darkshade Caverns, Elden Hollow and Ware's Sewers on your own, and today, I will continue with 3 new dungeons. There are 16 group dungeons in the base game. 8 of these have 2 versions, 1 and 2. Each dungeon can be tackled in normal and veteran difficulty. Base game's group dungeons all have a recommended player level. Today, we will focus on the second batch of We'll delve deeper into Corinium, City of Ash and Crypt of Hearts. While our main question remains, can you solo it? We have successfully soloed Corinium, City of Ash 1 and Crypt of Hearts 1, so we will hop straight to Crypt of Hearts 2. This is a tricky one and might require a bit of preparation. Normal enemies are, as usual, nothing to worry about. Orcs might get large, enemies might be 8-legged, but their hit points are relatively low. Boss enemies are the ones who will give you trouble. First, Ibelgas, a spider-kid warrior who will summon a variety of additional enemies, such as brute nurses, who will, in turn, summon flesh archmages, cauterizers who will heal Ibelgas, and wefters who will shoot arrows at you. Along with basic attacks, Ibelgas can create an area of effect that will silence you. If you stand under the purple dome like so, you will be unable to use magical attacks. Still, Ibelgas is pretty easy to get rid of. The same cannot be said about Ruzozu's Alpamas here. This large spider Daedra spits poison at you, releases streaks of lightning, creates lightning storms, summons spiders, and wraps you in a cocoon of webs. The cocoon will break in time, but in order to escape quickly, you need a friend to help you. Activating a synergy will break the cocoon. You can also use the Psychic Ultimate's Precognition move to turn back time and become immune to crowd control. Let's see how that works. This, by the way, also works in Bungle Grotto 2 and might help in Darkshade Caverns too. After the horror that is Ruzozu's Alpamas, the rest of the dungeon is smooth sailing. We meet Chamber Guardian, a skeleton warrior who will try to spook you by summoning a wraith. And after that, it's time for a rematch with the Illumbris twins. At first, it seems that the battle is easy. The twins have low hit points, and all of the usual tricks are mild and subdued. As they draw close to death, they merge to summon a great bone colossus, Illumbris Amalgam. This entertaining boss has 2 forms, fire and shock. As one can expect, both forms are dedicated to one type of damage. In both forms, Illumbris Amalgam will do a stomp attack to deal damage and to summon 2 skeleton mages. He also has other tricks up his bony sleeves, such as fire explosions, lightning storms and rains of fire. As hit points fall to 20%, Illumbris Amalgam enters Execute phase, where he summons skeletons and rains both fire and lightning upon you. I really like this boss, even though killing it does require a bit of damage resistance. The last mini-boss is Mezaluth, a spider-kid mage. This boss has one interesting mechanic. She summons 2 kinds of red circles, large ones that move and small ones that stay put. If you stand in 2 red circles at the same time, you will immediately die. In this battle, my advice to not stand in a red circle truly comes in handy. After getting rid of Mezaluth, we enter a portal that will take us to the final battle with Nerienet. This high elf leech can be a bit tricky to solo. Nerienet, whose name I insist upon pronouncing the Finnish way, resides in a large, dark cavern. During combat, he will use this entire space to teleport around, summon wraiths, and toss necrotic skulls at you. Standing in any kind of circles is hazardous to health, but this stage of battle is relatively easy. When Nerianeth enters Sword stage at 35% health, things get difficult. As the cavern around you turns red, you will be stunned, picked up, intimidated, and slowly drained of life. You should use the Resist Necrosis synergy, but if you are stunned, you might not be able to. Stun will fade in time, and if you are able to break free, the rest of the battle should be doable. Nerianeth is a challenging boss, but not impossible to solo. Our last stop today is City of Ash 2. As we enter, the dungeon looks pretty much the same as City of Ash 1. Similar enemies, same sceneries, just like in all alternate versions. Only this time we are brought straight to the chamber where we met the final boss before. We find ourselves faced with 3 enemies guarding an Oblivion Gate. Rukal, Akizel, and Marus, all Xivili. They all have different kinds of abilities, but I would get rid of Akizel first, for he heals the others. Rukal can use a fiery chain to pull you to him, and he will also summon flame attributes. All in all, this is a fiery combat which might take some time. After the 3 fall, you'll need to enter the Oblivion Gate, which will, confusingly, take you to another dungeon called the Knives of Discord. And I do encourage you to bring snacks, for this place is enormous and full of enemies. The sheer size of City of Ash 2 makes it a bit impossible to solo, but enemy-wise, it's easy. First, we meet Urata the Legion. This biomage summons copies of herself. If the copies are not killed quickly, they will remerge with her and restore her health. In addition, Urata will shoot fire and form fire rules. Next, Horvantud the Firemaw. This armored Diatroth will summon all sorts of enemies to help it in combat, breathe fire at you, bite you, shake the ground, and swipe at you. Not easy and most definitely not fast, but doable. Moving on, we find Ash Titan. I've met this boss a few times in the Infinite Archive and wondered where it's from. This Daedric Titan will throw lava bolts which will do flame damage after impact. He can also swipe at you and knock you down, rain fireballs on you, drowning in flames, and summon an air atronach for its speed. This is actually a really difficult boss and it will take a long time to kill it. Do I advise you to go alone? No, but if you do, this is a can-do boss. I wish I could say that things get fast and easy here, but no. After a humongous amount of hordes, we need to climb a hill to kill waves of enemies before we come face to face with a Xivili miniboss, who will throw lightning bolts at us among other impolite things. And then we need to run down the hill, up the other side, and do it all over again. Is it over? Well, no. The last enemy awaits. Valkenscoria is a Dremora mage who resides on a lake of lava. He will release lights of fire, toss flame bolts at you, stun you, and break the pedestals he stands on. He will also summon flame atronachs and meteors to hit random spots of the battlefield. This is another long and arduous battle that echoes the very nature of City of Ash 2. Fire, lava, brimstone, despair. But despite the overwhelming amount of enemies and flame, this is a soloable dungeon. I won't encourage soloing this one though. City of Ash 2 is one of the longest dungeons in ESO and, as such, a true test of patience and strength. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Next time, we will continue with the next dungeons, many of which we have already proven to be soloable. Our contestants are Direfrost Keep, Tempest Island, Fallenfell, Blessed Crucible, and Blackheart Haven. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Ta!